I had just recovered from surgery, and so these dear friends of mine, we consider ourselves the Seven Sisters. They, unbeknownst to me, put together this quilt and gave it to me one day when they all came to the house. So it is a prized possession of mine.
The reason I made this quilt is for my great nephew's daughter who was just born. Her name is Laura. It's made of scraps. And I spend a lot of my time making quilts for donation because I only have so much room for quilts in my house. I've been quilting for over 40 years, so you can imagine I have a few quilts that I've made.
It's made from vintage feed sacks, which are cotton bags that held feed and flour and sugar in the 1930s and 40s, and I have quite a collection of them. And children like them because they have lots of fun novelty fabrics. This one is hand and machine quilted.
Their particular program, we bring quilts to them, and the people who are there for end-of-life issues are comforted by the quilts, and then their families bring them home. It promotes a tremendous amount of healing because they can wrap themselves up in it and think about their loved ones and how much being with them at the end helped, and how the quilts just made them feel warm and loved.
This one is special to me because it's for one of my kids who came home 3 years ago from Ukraine, and we have kind of a complicated relationship. You know, it's not, when you bring a teenager home into your family, there's a lot of different dynamics, and so I thought, you know, there's so many times when I try to tell him things that there's maybe a lack of trust or understanding, but you know, I don't make these quilts and spend months on them for someone that I don't love dearly. So I labeled this quilt, the name of this quilt is Proof. With that quote, if your mother says she loves you, check it out. And it's kind of just a tongue-in-cheek, but hopefully a visual reminder for him that you know, he saw me spend the time on this quilt and knew it was for him, and I hope that will be special to him.
I call it 4th of July at the ballpark, and it's for a child. When I make a quilt, I think more in terms of who it's going to cover versus what it's going to cover. I come from a long line of quilters. My mother grew up in rural North Carolina, and they used what they had to make quilts, and there's a big part of that in me.
You get all sorts of inspiration. You get knowledge on how to do different things that you've not ever tried before. And I think belonging to a quilting group is one of the best things you can do. But everybody always says that you should think outside the box. And my comment is, what box? Because I always like to do things a little bit different.